What's up, everybody? Welcome to Tuck Rule Takes episode 73, the John Hanna episode of
breaking
Tuck Rule
news,
Takes.
breaking news. Already breaking news.
No way. Are you
New England is re-signing safety Jabrill Peppers to a 2-year deal per source from Adam
Oh,
Schefter.
I see it. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, what's up? Welcome to Tuck Rule Takes. You know what? Fuck John Hanna. This is the Jabrill Peppers episode of Tuck Rule Takes. With me, Al, Liam. I'm here, and so is fucking Jabrill Peppers. I'm pumped. Give me some.
Fire me up.
I believe I think we all general consensus. We all said that. I think a couple days ago was like shit. Would have loved for them to bring him back. You know, him, Adrian Phillips back there, Duggar, the Bash brothers, added again.
Yeah, if we weren't getting Bates or Poyer, we better get Peppers.
Speaking of Poyer, I saw some like random Dolphins account be like, "There's a verbal agreement between Poyer and the Dolphins," and that was like 3 hours ago. So I don't put any stock into that. But oh my god, Al, honestly, I thought you were messing with us. I thought you were
going to
say some stupid shit.
God no.
Because
that was literally too perfect.
With this episode, if I screwed with you guys, you probably would have just left. I mean, there probably would be no episode because you'd be so sad.
Honestly, what I would have done is just muted you the whole time, and you would just have to sit there and just take it. But okay, Jabrill Peppers.
Al just thinks we're listening. He's like smiling and nodding.
Okay, I don't want to bury the lead because we were going to start with Devin McCourty, but I guess it kind of
the segue right there
all moves in. So obviously Devin McCourty retired as well, but so shit. I guess we'll just kind of do our moment of silence for Devin McCourty. But Jabrill Peppers, though, okay, I'm happy about that. So obviously, though, I think we can all agree. Devin McCourty, we kind of, I think we said we kind of saw it coming. The fact that he didn't come back right when Slater came back, kind of shitty. But yeah, do you guys have any parting words from McCourty before we move into the crazy free agency period that's been happening so far? Jabrill Peppers.
I had doomed myself because I talked myself out of him coming back, then I talked myself into it, out of it, and then I finished into it. And of course, he decides not to come back. So I don't know. I'm devastated nonetheless. I think one more year would have been nice, but still, dude gave everything he had.
A leader on and off the field, a true patriot through and through, and a champion.
Yeah, Guy Fawkes, that's for sure.
You can't say anything more about Devin McCourty. Class act all the way. Going to wear the red jacket at some point in 2027. He's going to be wearing a red jacket. So
that's why he's eligible. Yeah, no doubt about that.
I believe. I'm pretty sure.
So,
but then again, because Edelman stopped playing after 2020, and he's already in the Patriots Hall of Fame. So
I think he's just a layup, though. Like they can call Edelman early, they can call Brady early. Some players with the Patriots, they can be like, yeah, like. You don't even have to wait. Like you're a shoo-in.
Yeah, and I feel like McCourty's one of them. Question: McCourty, is he a top 5 Patriot to you?
Ooh, loaded question.
Top 5. Yeah. No top 10 bullshit because we all know he's top 10. I'm talking top 5. Is he top 5 to you? I'll go first. I'll say yeah. I think he might be 5th. I think he might be 4th or 5th there. Well, I don't know who's in there. I put Brewski in there.
Of course,
you got to put Brady, obviously.
Jabbar Gaffney.
I put David Gibbons, obviously. Jonas Gray, of course. I don't know. But
that's honestly a loaded question. I'd have to sit down and make a list. I don't think I could answer that off the top of my head.
Okay. Yeah, that's a tough question.
I'd be afraid of insulting him if I said no, and then cutting out too many other guys if I said yes.
Top 10 though? You think he's top 10?
Oh, 1,000% top 10. Absolutely.
Yeah. Top 10 Patriot. I think he's probably top 3 of the second dynasty 2.0. If we're gonna go there for sure.
Brady's in there, Edelman's in there, Hightower.
Yeah.
Gronk isn't in there. Fucker missed half the Super Bowls.
Nah, you still got to put Gronk.
He really
in there,
did.
He was essential to getting there.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. We won one with Martellus Bennett. I'm not worried about Gronk.
Martellus Bennett. But McCourty's gone. But so I guess we'll start right off the top. Jabrill Peppers is back.
Biggest signing.
I keep looking. I don't see any. Al, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm sure you got Twitter up. You're looking at shit too. I don't see any numbers yet, but
nothing yet.
2-year deal though. I mean, great signing. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy. I don't think that's really going to break the bank in any way. Yeah, I love it. That kind of. Do you think now with the mixture of Peppers, of Adrian Phillips, of Duggar, and maybe Jalen Mills tweeted out he can play safety too. Do you think that they need to go safety now, or they need to fill that hole, or do you think they can kind of roll with what they have for now and just deal with that next season?
Oh, for safety, they're set. I mean, you have a combination of guys. Phillips is more of a finesse guy, a guy that's kind of has a nose for the football and everything. Duggar's your hard hitting safety, and Peppers is a good mix of both. And then you can, like you said, you can throw Jalen Mills back there too if you need to, because he even came out on Twitter and said, "Guys, I can play safety. You know that, right? Like I'm a hybrid."
He started out as a safety in Philly.
There you go. So I think for safety, you're fine. If the one piece on defense that I would love to see them just get is like a second corner. And I know we're going to talk about that re-signing for who the number one corner is, but I'd like to see one more corner on a cheap deal. It doesn't have to be like, like a Jalen Ramsey type or something. Just a formidable number 2 corner to play on the opposite side of Jonathan Jones, which I know we're going to talk about later.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah, of course. So Jabrill Peppers, he's back. I guess we'll just kind of rattle through the people the Patriots have signed so far. Then we'll just kind of jump right into it.
I'm
I know
fucking fired up.
There's a
Jabrill Peppers,
lot,
baby. Now I got to buy a jersey.
Jabrill, just a great dude's built like
just a legendary name. I wanted him to win the Heisman so bad.
So far moving into this, the Patriots have they traded away Jonnu Smith. Talk about that. But so far, the people they have signed, they've signed Jonathan Jones to a 2-year deal, Carl Davis to a 1-year contract. They tendered Miles Bryant, which, I mean, that he's like one of the most polarizing players on the team right now. And then they also got Calvin Anderson from the Broncos, I believe. And obviously they've lost Devin McCourty to retirement, and they lost out on probably the biggest free agent they had other than Jonathan Jones. Jakobi Meyers, 3-year deal, $33 million with Vegas, $21 million guaranteed. Gentlemen, where would you like to start with this? Who do you want to start with? Where do you want to go? And we will just fucking dive right in. Liam, I see you raising your hand. You're back from your treacherous snow drive home from work. Where do you want to start, my friend?
Thanks, Teach. I think the only place to really start is with Jakobi Meyers. And I just want to open up the floor by saying I knew he was a double agent. That motherfucker was on the Raiders since week 3. Fucking asshole. I knew something was fishy. That pass didn't make sense.
Those are my favorite tweets, by the way. My favorite ones. The ones are like, it's an inside job, and it's just him turning around, throwing the ball. Love it.
It is 100%. We've seen this before. There it is again. What a dickhead.
I do want to call it out that the Tuck Rule boys, we kind of called this the last few weeks. Go to Tuck Rule Takes on Twitter or go to Tuck Rule Takes on Instagram. We got the videos posted up there. Last week, the week before, and multiple weeks prior, we all had the same gist there where it's, I think, and Liam, you said it the best. You said, shit, guys, the more I'm talking about this, the more I don't think he's going to be coming back. And I believe you even said he's not one of those players that is inexpendable or whatever your verbiage was. But I will still say it sucked. It sucked to see his name pop up there and have it go.
Especially to the Raiders. You're like, damn.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely, it was one of those things where even though we wanted him to come back, we saw his value, but it's like, my thoughts on this at first were just one of those things where it's like, it sucks. He's your fan favorite guy. And that's something in the clip. I believe I said that he's your, there's always one every year. There's a fan favorite, someone on the team who ends up leaving via trade. They get released. They're an early season cut, something like that. And Jakobi Meyers is the guy. Al, how do you feel about it? Because I know that you were a little higher. I know Liam wanted to launch Jakobi Meyers into the sun. So right. I'm sure Liam was popping bottles at work. But Al, how do you feel about this? Jakobi Meyers? What angle you want to take on this one?
The move was expected, right? For the most part, I think Mike, you hit the nail on the head. We all said that Jakobi Meyers is probably going to leave because he's probably going to get an overpay. But that's the part that bothers me the most about Jakobi Meyers leaving is the actual contract. Look at the contract and break it down a little bit. I'll keep it basic. 3 years, $33 million. You do quick math on that. That's $11 million per year. We were talking easy math. We were talking on Tuck Rule Takes several weeks ago about how we would resign him for anywhere from 10 to 14. And if it was 15 plus, then you let him go.
Yep.
So when you see the deal, and 21 million of it's guaranteed. So when you see this deal, you wonder to yourself a couple things. Did the Patriots want him back? It doesn't seem like it if they weren't really aggressive. And maybe something will come out and it'll be like, oh, the Patriots deal was 8 or 9 million, or it was even 10 million, whatever. But also, did Meyers see a better opportunity to go to Vegas, play for Josh McDaniels, play under a quarterback in Jimmy Garoppolo, and just go back to, familiar territory in a guy that he played under and succeeded under? So again, it's not, I'll finish up and then.
No, you're good.
We got so much shit to talk about. You just keep going.
We do.
Keep talking.
I was just going to chime in with a snarky remark.
Do not worry. Do not worry.
But it does suck because now it's like, okay, Jakobi Meyers was Mac Jones' favorite target. He led the team in first down receptions the last 3 seasons, and he had his most touchdown receptions this year with 6. So the trajectory is going up for him.
Yeah.
So now, if you're going to get rid of him, fine. But what's the plan? What's next? Because right now, under contract,
great slot receiver.
Who's just your next receiver? Because you have Devontae Parker on the last year of his deal, Kendrick Bourne on the last year of his deal, Tyquan Thornton, who's still on his rookie deal, but he's still a little unproven. I mean, there were flashes, but he's still, I want to see more. And then what? Then you have Hunter Henry as your tight end. Your running backs are okay, but who's that big playmaking wide receiver? Are you gonna go get DeAndre Hopkins? Are you gonna call the Texans for Brandon Cooks? Will you try to get Allen Robinson? Will Jerry Jeudy or Courtland Sutton end up in a Patriots uniform? I don't know, but one of them has to. If not, get 2 of them, because guess what? You add 2 of those guys and then you throw in the others in Parker and Bourne and Thornton, then you have something on offense. That's the whole thing. You cannot go into it with those 3 guys that I mentioned as your 1, 2, and 3 receivers. You just can't.
It's almost unfathomable because you're like, what happens if we are going into the season with the only guys we have left? It just looks really ugly.
It does.
So I see that, and that's the thing where it's like, you have people saying, well, like you said, well, what's next? What's the next thing that's going to happen? Like, how is this going to happen? What this reminds me of is the first movie of like a trilogy, or like where a sequel's coming out, it ends and you're like, well, what the shit? What's going to happen now? What's with this? It's like, calm down. There's still a whole nother movie to come out. Like what? So right. So that's its own thing. One, I kind of wanted to say this out here to you guys too, because someone said it and I started to think about it more. Jakobi Meyers, the number 1 option for the last 2 years, you say, right?
Yeah.
But we're not talking about the 07 Patriots. We're not talking about the 2010 Patriots. Shit, we're not even talking about the 2020 Patriots with Cam fucking Newton.
Yeah.
We're talking about a relatively inept offense. So to say Jakobi Meyers was the number 1 option, that's the thing everybody's freaking out about. This was your number 1 guy. He was, the guy, all that. Yeah, but kind of by default. Like, it's not like he was beating out the likes of Edelman, Gronk, even Danny Amendola, no disrespect, Brandon Cooks. I mean, like Randy Mott, like he was the smartest kid in the dumb class, as they used to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, let's not. And then the people that say that you want to upgrade the offense. How are you going to upgrade the offense if you keep bringing back the same people? And I get Jakobi Meyers. You could bring him back and still make a move. Sure. You bring Jakobi Meyers back. There is a 0% chance he's going to get the same targets, the same whatever, assuming you bring in a Jeudy, DeAndre Hopkins, a big number 1 guy. So like, if you're going to bring him in, if he's your guy who kind of thrives on your amount of targets, amount of receptions, all that stuff. That's how he gets his yards. He's not a big play guy by any means. I saw someone call him a game changer, game breaker or something. I'm like, we're talking about Jakobi Meyers. Like, no,
he can change a game. All right.
I hate that. We're really good at throwing the ball backwards. I hate that we have to talk about him like this.
Oh, 100%.
But it's like we're talking about a really good player on the Patriots. We're not talking about a guy who, no matter where you put him, this isn't a Brandon Cooks. No matter where he goes, he's going to get 1,000 yards. No matter where you put, player X, no matter where you put DeAndre Hopkins, he's going to produce. No matter where you put whoever. Like, we're talking about a guy who he thrived because of the amount of targets he gets. So if you bring him back and then you're also bringing in someone else, he's not going to get the targets. And then you also forget you have a whole new coach coaching this offense. It's like, you have to bring in all these crazy free agents. People are thinking about this offense, how it's been the last couple of years. The biggest free agent signing, and I saw this and like a light bulb went off. The biggest free agent signing for this offense was Bill O'Brien. Bringing him back, he's not going to utilize the players the same way. That's just how it is. So I think people are thinking about this offense that's still going to be ran like a defensive coordinator is running it. It's not what's going to happen. So like this move hurts. It sucks because we all liked him. His first touchdown was an amazing play. The game didn't matter. The game was already out of hand, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
we were up by 2 scores, I think, at least. But it's just like he was one of those guys who was awesome. The broadcast showed someone in the audience who they thought was his dad. It wasn't his dad. It was a crazy thing. But like, guys, at the end of the day, Jakobi Meyers went somewhere else. Let's stop acting. You have Patriots beat reporters tweeting out, I don't know what the plan is anymore. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know. I'm like, what do they play? Do they play this weekend? I don't think so.
Yeah.
So like,
that's the point. It's like step out of the box a little bit. Think big picture here.
Exactly.
Do you not remember any Patriots history here? Like, we let Ty Law go, Edelman go, Aqib Talib go. We've
much
let
higher caliber
studs
players
go 100%. And
much
like
higher caliber.
J.C. Jackson,
Wes
when Wes Welker left, you would have thought the world was falling, and it made sense because he was the entire receiving core for those 5 years beforehand. So
on a good offense, he was
on the best offense. But like now, we're getting the same reaction for Jakobi Meyers, and it's like he's fine. Fucker scored his first touchdown last year halfway through the season after being in the league for 2 years before then. He's fine. He's not stellar.
No, he's really good. I think the only way that you can really be like upset about this is that, yes, he was Mac's security blanket. Very much.
Definitely. But I like your point, though, overall, where it's like, look at what's going on here. We have a new coach. He's going to implement an entirely different offense. Who knows if this new offense is even going to rely on the old slot receivers that have made the Patriots the Patriots. He might tear it all down, build it all back up. And like you said, it is literally the second day. Like, it is. We are just getting into this thing. So people are thinking it's instant gratification. People are reacting right now, and they think like it's all coming to an end right now. It's like, dude, moves will be made in 2 months.
Well, also look at what your competition's done in your own division. That's why people are freaking out.
Yeah.
The Jets look like they're about to get Aaron Rodgers. I mean,
Jets ain't getting shit. Jets ain't getting shit.
Wait a minute.
Go play in the darkness, you dumb bitch.
Wait a minute, you two. Wait a minute. If Aaron Rodgers came here, you guys would be happy if Aaron Rodgers came here.
I've said that in the past. I have said that in the past.
Okay, fine, Mike.
100%.
Okay, fine, Mike. You have said that you have not. Fine. You've held strong to that. That's fine.
Liam, I love that.
Yes, you have.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes, so, on our team though, not the Jets.
Yes, I understand that, but let's not.
And he's not
say that
going
Aaron
to the
Rodgers
Jets.
Is a bad quarterback because he's not coming to the Patriots.
No, he's a bad quarterback. Arguably the best ever.
Sorry, I'm
he's
sorry.
Not a bad quarterback. No, he's not.
I know.
He's not a bad quarterback. That was just me. I'm sorry. Go.
You're fine. You're a passionate Patriots fan. I get it. The Dolphins go out and get Jalen Ramsey. Now, I understand, but Jalen Ramsey is a name. He's a big name.
Oh, my God.
The name.
Because it's the names that these teams are getting. And by the way, the Bills, they haven't done anything, but they have restructured. I know, but they've restructured Josh Allen's contract to create salary cap space. So guess what?
They're going to need to do that when Josh Allen misses all of next season because he shoulder charges a linebacker.
And Jabrill Peppers. hooks him in the shoulder. I'm sorry, keep going. Yeah. I did notice that the Bills haven't done. I think like they re-signed their punter, who the Patriots need the kicker, by the way.
Good.
Right. And that's the thing. That's why people are freaking out and saying, see, Bill doesn't have it anymore. See, they don't care about winning. See, they're going to tank. Again, it's year 2. I would like to see an outside signing besides Calvin Anderson. And also,
I think we all would. Yeah.
We all do. Yeah. We all want to see, all right, who's the wide receiver? We want to see Schefter or Rappaport put out. Patriots have traded for Broncos receiver Jerry Jeudy, or Patriots have traded for Cardinals wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins. We just want to see that. So it's like, okay, you know that need is fulfilled. Then you can move on to another one because you need a wide receiver. I would love to. You need offensive line help still.
Overzealous. Let's ask for one here, and then you'd be surprised.
Well, that's why I'm saying I would love to. Then I'm not everybody else.
Yeah.
Get a receiver, get some more help on the offensive line, and then kind of fill in your other holes as is. You still need a punter, which, I mean, that's not a worry. You can get a punter in the 7th round.
Mike could punt for him.
I'd be better than fucking what's his name, Mike Pilardi last year.
Yeah, Pilardi. Terrible. Yeah, it's definitely concerning.
Shit. Yeah, Al, I think you definitely make some points where it's like, like the other teams in the division are at least doing things or making moves.
Yeah.
Like the Jets sign Alan Lazard. They're most likely going to sign Aaron Rodgers and make it, Packers East and just have it as a whole, which I don't know how that's going to benefit the team because you got a lot of young players over there too, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it seems
I mean, you got the Dolphins who, 24th ranked defense. They got a 32-year-old corner, 31-year-old corner who I think the joke last year was that he continued to get burned all the time, but okay.
He gave up 7 touchdowns.
Still, like you said, still a name. So people are going to see the name and be like, my thing is, and it's like this weird line because it's not like I'm telling people, like, obviously you can be, upset, frustrated, whatever happens, blah, blah. But guys, we are just over 48 hours into, not even 48 hours into free agents.
And it's the tampering period. Contracts haven't been signed yet.
It's not even the real thing yet. Like these teams still have to make cap space to get these players that don't have the cap space. Like I get it. I can get the initial like, oh no, what's going on? But then it's like, it's not like there's a time limit to when people can get people. Like, everyone's saying right now it's a weak wide receiver free agency market, right? So why are we all freaking out about not getting a wide receiver when most likely you're going to have to trade for one? Trades take time. Like trades are very intricate. These owners are assholes. Like everything takes a while. So it's like, it just like the it happens every single year, but it's like, and the other funny part is like, you're sitting there saying that, Belichick better draft and not you, general. Belichick better draft and offensive line. Belichick better draft Zay Flowers. He better draft whoever. But then those same people on the other side of the coin say Belichick can't draft. He better go sign these players. But then the players that he does sign, it's like, oh, why'd you get him when you could have? Why don't you draft? It's just like no one's ever happy. This fan base is like, and I remember people saying it during the 20 years of dominance that we've had, where like we are just spoiled fans. And I'm starting to think that's a real thing because it's like nothing is ever good. Everything needs to happen all at once at the same time first. So like the Patriots need to be the ones who, like I saw another tweet. Oh, I can't believe that, rookie quarterback, you're not doing anything to try to help him. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen, but a few years ago, Patriots signed Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, Nelson Aguilar.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Like,
I saw that. I
forget the name, but either way, like that's so. Regardless if the move worked, they drafted Tyquan Thornton. They're trying to do things. So regardless if a move works or not, that's a whole bunch of things. And we'll talk about Jonnu Smith too, how that might actually go down as one of the statistically worst signings that Belichick has done, which is crazy because we all loved it at the time. But it's just like and honestly, if the Jets get Aaron Rodgers, why are they all of a sudden going to be like the best team ever? I don't.
They're still the most cursed franchise ever.
It's not. Do you want me to answer that for you?
Yes.
Because when you take a look at what the Jets have done over the past couple of years, it's similar to the Patriots in the sense of they've had some really good draft classes. They have. Like, you can't deny that they have some players.
Yeah.
And a lot of
people, Garrett Wilson, their receiver, won Offensive Rookie of the Year, right?
Yeah, and Breece Hall
got hurt. Sauce Gardner on defense. Yeah, no, they got a nice little squad.
They do. Their defense at one point last year was really good. And everyone was saying if they got decent quarterback play, they would have made the playoffs and they would have, they could have made some noise. So now you give them the quarterback that they're looking for, a veteran that's a veteran that's, Liam said it, going to go to the Hall of Fame. We all know he's going to the Hall of Fame. Now it's like, okay, now they have no excuse. They should make the playoffs if this is the Jets team that it is. But again, you got to perform.
Yeah.
So that's why people are saying, with the Jets, they could make a run at a playoff spot next year.
Aaron Rodgers is also a locker room disruptor. And if you bring that to New York,
I don't believe in that shit, though. His teammates love him.
He shows everybody. You don't think that his young players on the Jets, his Packers teammates love him. His Jets teammates or the Jets fan base, they hate everybody. God forbid one bad game by Aaron Rodgers, which he will have. What do you think? The New York fan base is going to eat him alive, and I cannot wait. He might retire mid-year.
Dude, they've had Zach Wilson,
and we're talking about this.
Mike
still
White, who sucks.
Yeah,
100%. And I think anything is an improvement over Mike White and Zach Wilson. So if Aaron Rodgers shows up and throws 3 picks, they'll be like, all right, well, maybe next week he'll throw 4 touchdowns.
No, I don't think so. That's not their fan base. Come on. That's not their fan base.
And granted,
they had it when they were chanting for Mike White before they even saw what he did because of Zach Wilson.
Yeah,
even though Zach Wilson would have, it's just I don't think I
would have cheered for the next guy too. Zach Wilson was so bad, the next guy can't be any worse. That's what they're like. Aaron Rodgers
for Zach Wilson if Aaron Rodgers has 2 bad games.
No, they won't.
I guarantee you they will. But
no, absolutely.
Honestly, it's funny. Al said we're talking about this. Aaron Rodgers might fucking retire tomorrow when he goes on the Pat McAfee.
I'm telling you, he's not going to the Jets.
No, I don't think
I promise you.
Wait, you don't think
it's the ultimate smoke show? I don't think.
Why would they go out? But why would they go out and make this big offer at Allen Lazard and sign Allen Lazard to this big contract if they didn't think that he was coming?
Because who the fuck do they have other than Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore, who was terrible last year? Because they need a fucking wide receiver.
But why go after a guy that Aaron Rodgers wants? Why not go after someone else?
On Aaron Rodgers' list that
we do not know for certain if Allen Lazard was on Aaron Rodgers' list.
It was him.
Supposedly.
It was Odell. It was your boy Mercedes Lewis.
Damn right it was. Well, that's
that's
an obvious one though. But the Mercedes Lewis, he's on. If any quarterback wants to win, he's on everyone's free agent list. That's completely disregarded. But
OBJ is on that list. Allen Lazard,
exactly.
Randall Cobb.
He's just Aaron Rodgers playing friggin' Madden, where he's
Jordy
trying to get his homeboys on the team, and he's trying to get good players. Imagine they signed Jordy Nelson.
The funny thing is, though, I could see the situation going with Aaron Rodgers being like, you know what, guys, I'm thinking about coming there, but I want some assurances. The Green Bay organization didn't really get me what I want. Here's some things that I want. He told them that, so the Jets were like, you know what, we're going to try to get that. I could see them trying to get that, but then I could see Aaron Rodgers on one ayahuasca night sitting there going, you know what, guys, I don't even really know if I want to play football anymore, boys. I might just want to fucking go back to my dark hole and just hang out. Could you not see him just all of a sudden pulling the ripcord and either staying in Green Bay or just not going to the Jets or retire or taking
I can see him staying in Green Bay. He wouldn't retire. He would call it
a leave of absence or some shit or like a personal mental.
He might take a year off, but I don't think he's retiring yet. He's still at the top of his game. He knows he can ball, and he's a competitive dude. For somebody who, in his interviews, it doesn't seem like he's competitive because he sits there and talks about going to the Congo and doing ayahuasca and all these other drugs. The dude wants to win. He's a competitor. He's won 18 MVPs for a reason. The dude loves to ball. So I just don't think he's going to the Jets. Realistically, no matter how many weapons they get, I can't help but think he's fucking with them, where he's like, all right, just get these guys and then I'll go. They get all these guys, they spend all this money, and then he's like, yeah, I'm going to go to the Panthers. And they're like, what?
Just to have Zach Wilson still at the helm.
That would be
all
so
I'm going to
funny.
say is,
I'm sorry,
the Jets said they love Zach Wilson, which is sauce.
if you're a Pat McAfee fan, watch the Pat McAfee show on Wednesday afternoon, 1:00.
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers is coming on the show. He's probably going to announce what he's doing.
They say that every time. He never says anything of
Imagine
value.
if
The
he
only
doesn't.
thing
he
yeah.
talks to McAfee
The only-
a lot.
I know,
Yes.
but the only thing he says on the show is, "I smoked drugs and I didn't take the vaccine." That's the most news anyone's ever got out of him on the Pat McAfee. He never talks about football, his intentions. McAfee asks him every single week, "What are you thinking with the Packers?" "I haven't made up my mind yet." Every fucking time. He's not going to break any news besides like
soon. I'll have news to you soon, and then 2 weeks
Yeah.
go by.
It never is. He'll break like small news that will get a lot of attention to the show. He'll be like, "I did drugs," and then that gets plenty of viewers for Pat McAfee. And Aaron Rodgers doesn't, have to spill the beans. He'll say small stuff that gets attention. It's a win-win, but he'll never go on that show and break some news there.
Did you? And I'm sorry. This has nothing to do with football. Just a quick thing. I was just refreshing Twitter there. Speaking of breaking news, you guys know when they say asteroids are coming close to the Earth and shit like that, how they say how big they are and stuff.
Yeah, those rumors.
There's a breaking news thing last night, and I couldn't stop laughing about it. What do you think? You guys will never be able to guess what they measured this asteroid by. They said an asteroid the size of about 69 American alligators will pass by Earth on Tuesday.
Nice.
When I tell you that I couldn't stop laughing, I was like, my wife looked at me, she's like, "What?" I was like, "You got to listen to this. You'll never be able to guess what they measure these things by." I was like, "The big alligators, the Florida alligators." But anyway, that's just crazy. But
those are our scientists. That's incredible.
69.
No wonder we took scientists from the Nazis. Our fucking ones are measuring shit in alligators. This is the stupidest shit I've ever heard.
That sounds like some shit Aaron Rodgers would come up with. There's a 10 alligator chance I'll come back. But yeah. So how do we even start here? So all back to just the Patriots. They're still making moves. People are freaking out. The Jets are doing things. The Dolphins are doing crazy things. Awesome.
Yeah. So let's talk about the Patriots' biggest signing so far besides Jabrill Peppers.
That's what I was going to. So
what do you guys
the
think
Jakobi
about
Meyers thing there?
Fucking Calvin Anderson?
So I was actually going to say,
because come on, if that doesn't make you sweat, I don't know what does.
I'm still laughing about the alligators. Now I got you bringing up fucking Calvin
Anderson. They say they're going to pay Calvin Anderson the same amount of 427 packets of Oreos. So just do that math and tell me how much money that Calvin Anderson is going to be making this season.
So Calvin Anderson, he is being brought here, and his Oreos. He's going to be it looks like he's going to be a swing tackle. Nice little depth piece. One thing I did notice, Evan Lazard said, not Lazard.
Get Allen out of your mind.
It seems like the Patriots are the people they're looking at, or they were interested in. They are more so left tackles. So it makes him think that, are they going to push Trent Brown to right tackle, which was his first position when he came into the league? Like, or I don't even know if it was his first one, but that was the position that he played a lot before he did make the switch.
They should push Trent Brown into the Grand Canyon.
So
what they should do.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. If you put him at right tackle, he's not going to be getting the number one pass rusher every game. So not even saying that he can't handle it. He might just had an off year last year, whatever it is. But if you put him to right tackle, you drafted left tackle, or, you sign Orlando Brown is still out there. He's really the only big name guy out there now. But yeah, either way though, Calvin Anderson, nice swing tackle. Al, do you have any serious thoughts about him before we move on to the actual biggest signing the Patriots have done so far?
He's a depth piece. That's all it is.
Depth piece. Nice. Yeah. Can't hate it.
I would love, honest to God, I would love for the Patriots, and I said this in the group chat, just swoop in and get Orlando Brown. I would love that. Now that would create
on him, right? Which is,
I know.
It's been eerily quiet, which kind of makes me think like either not many teams are going to, or like teams aren't close, or there's one team that is very close and they're just ironing out the details. And like his camp is just in lockdown right now. I'm hoping it's the latter and the Patriots are that team, but who knows? I think that'd be awesome. That would shore up the offensive line. But the biggest signing though, arguably, other than Jakobi Meyers, the biggest free agent Patriots still have to get, Jonathan Jones, the third Jones, in the defensive backfield. You got your corner. You got your number one corner. You want to call him shut down or not, whatever. He is your number one corner. So you don't have to worry about elevating. You don't have to worry about elevating anyone else if they're not ready. You have Jonathan Jones. You still have Jack Jones, Marcus Jones. Maybe they draft someone. They pick up someone else. Miles Bryant also got tendered. Jalen Mills, if he's not playing safety, he's doing some hybrid thing. I think I was, how can I word this? I was more happy about this signing than I was distraught about Jakobi Meyers leaving, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
It does.
Yeah. So how'd you guys feel about it? I mean, there's obviously one way to feel about it, but just kind of take us where you want to go with it. Jonathan Jones, he's back. Nice deal though, too. 2 years, 19 million, right? If I remember correctly. Can't get that. Can't really beat that. So I think his cap hit this year is like under 10 million too, which is crazy. So Jonathan Jones back, big name. What say you, gentlemen?
Unspectacular in my eyes. I mean, like maybe I'm the gloom and doom of this podcast where don't like Jakobi Meyers and I don't like Jonathan Jones, but like,
yeah, even though I'm the supposed doom and gloom guy, according to
well, you just hate everyone,
Floridian.
but like, yeah, I'm starting to hop on your bandwagon too, Al, because it's like, yeah, he's fine. Like he's a corner, he's a body, he'll cover people, but like, he's not fucking spectacular. And obviously, like, he's no Stephon Gilmore that we've had in the past or any of our stud corners, but I don't get excited that we signed Jonathan Jones. It's like, I looked at the cornerback market, like Cam Sutton to the Lions. Like, it wasn't a spectacular free agent class of
Bradbury
cornerbacks
was
either.
really the biggest one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Patrick Peterson to the Steelers or some shit like that. Like, I don't want Patrick Peterson either. He's washed. But it's like, I can't help but think we got to be a little better than that. I don't love him as our starting corner. I like both the Joneses a lot more. Both of them made more plays last year and got burned a little less, at least in my mind. I have to go back and look at the tape to specifically get a definitive answer on it. But I don't know. To me, it's unspectacular.
Al, you want to take this one? All I have to say is blasphemy. That's
blasphemy.
Yeah.
Please
now,
tell me a moment that
Jonathan
Jones has had. What is the moment
about
when
him?
you say his name? What is the moment that pops into your head?
I think the fact that I can't think of a good moment means that it's good that we got him. That no, not a good moment. That I can't think of this crazy whatever play. He had a few picks last year too that were really good as well. Like
I can't remember one of them.
Al, I don't want to. I'm sure we're going to be arguing about some other things.
I remember almost every play from last season. I don't remember a fucking play that guy made.
You don't remember plays from him or Michael Wendy? Those are the two people you do not remember plays from.
Does anyone remember a play an offensive lineman made? Go fuck yourself.
Every damn one.
What are we talking about an offensive lineman? Jonathan Jones was the one that did the punt. He blocked the punt.
No,
Brandon Schooler blocked a punt too and did more on special teams. Like I remember his plays. I don't remember Jonathan Jones' plays.
Yeah, but you just like weird, unique people, and
no, truly, like if he made a play that stuck in my mind, I would tell you.
And that's a play that stuck out because that was a big play in the Colts game. Like you wanted to play, I gave you a.
So we're paying him to be our starting corner, and the moment that you remember is he blocked a punt on special teams.
That just proves he's versatile. That just proves.
100% proves he's versatile. We're not paying him to block moments.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah, kind of are, because moments are production.
Listen, the deal that you signed Jonathan Jones to, he would have gotten paid bigger money somewhere else.
Probably on a shitty fucking team, and they would have regretted it.
Maybe even a good team. Maybe a good team needed a corner, but here, you lock in a corner that can do multiple things, right? He can play against a slot receiver. He can cover a number one receiver. He can give you some plays on special teams.
Get burned against a number one receiver.
Every corner gets burned. Like
I know, I get it.
So like that's just what. So that's my thing. It's like okay, even like the great corners, like I'm not saying great, but like even the good ones, like Jalen Ramsey, James Bradbury, they have gotten burned. Stephon Gilmore has gotten burned before. Like corners get burned. Corners get burned. That's just part of the game. So to get a guy on that contract, and you still have about $30 million left in cap space. I know we talk about the rookies and everything. but to still have that available because you had a good team-friendly deal to bring a good player back into the defense, that's a win-win.
I don't know. Like when I think of the two Joneses, the rookies, I can remember multiple plays they made, multiple moments, key on special teams and on defense. Obviously, Panda Jack, you remember the pick six with Marcus Jones. There's
Picked
the
off
punt
Aaron
return.
Rodgers, the savior of fucking New York.
I know, that's what I'm saying. And with Marcus, there was the almost pick six against the Cardinals. His punt return, he had like 3 or 4 picks, one in the Bengals game. Maybe I'm thinking of the Bengals game where he almost brought it back. But either way, I can remember multiple plays that Marcus Jones made. I can remember a handful of plays that like 4-game stretch where Jack Jones was the man. Like I can remember those guys balling out. I don't remember shit about Jonathan Jones except for him getting a word that I shouldn't say because it's rather vulgar, skull fucked by Stephon Diggs, which everyone does. I get it. Everyone gets smoked by Stephon Diggs, but I am not excited about this.
I don't think the Patriots go into signings and they say, well, shit, guys, did anyone check with Liam? Does he remember any good plays?
Well, they should, though. They should is my point.
Oh, they should.
But
by the way,
what are you going to say?
Just so you know, Liam, Jonathan Jones was tied for the team lead in interceptions this year, just to throw that out there.
Okay. Well, I'm telling you, I can't remember a single one. How many were there? 3?
4.
4. Okay. Well.
Oh, man. I thought
tied for the team high.
In my heart, I thought it was going to be more. 3, 4. Now what?
4.
Shit.
Bitch. Yeah.
So I just.
You proved me wrong, Al. I'll go fuck myself.
Okay.
I always do that, so it's a common feeling for you.
So, so Liam, are you at least like happy that he's back? Because it's not even a bad contract, you know. It's like he's there. He is the number. Other than Stephon Diggs, he can shut down. Pretty much, kind of like Al said, he can take your number one receiver, and you don't have to worry about him over there.
I wouldn't say you don't have to worry. Like you worry.
We're going to make a bet going into this year because I know you love betting. Yeah. You and I are going to make a bet. How many touchdowns, or even we'll do touchdowns over under on touchdowns, yards that Jonathan Jones will give up when he's in man coverage, not zone, not like you're covering whatever.
No over the top safety help. I get it.
We're talking just mano-a-mano. How many yards and touchdowns he gets. And I guarantee you that I will win these bets because Jonathan Jones is a good corner and your not love for him reminds me, and Al, this is why he brought up offensive lineman before, because I said, this
reminds you of my blind hate for Mike Onwenu. I get it. And I looked at the tape and I was,
it's one of those things where it's like, oh, he only gave up 1 sack. There's a bunch of linemen that only give up 1 sack. Well, that doesn't mean shit. That's.
But my point is here. Listen, I'm not saying he's bad, and I'm not saying I'm mad that he's still on the team,
which I appreciate.
But you saying that you can put him on a team's number one receiver and you don't have to worry, that's not true. Like I don't think like he's middle of the road. Like he'll stop a couple number one receivers. He'll give up some plays on some number one receivers. Like he's literally, in my mind, perfectly average.
I'm looking up his stats as we speak. I don't even know how. I can never find.
If I think about him against the best receivers, like he's probably not going to stop Tyreek Hill. He's probably not. He definitely won't stop Stephon Diggs. He probably won't stop Jalen Waddle. It's like when I think about even Garrett Wilson, he'll have some great plays against him, and Garrett Wilson will have some great plays against him. That's how the cornerback position works. And then he's average. That's fine. When I think of receivers like DJ Moore, he'll have a fucking tough time with DJ Moore. Obviously I don't think we play the Bears, but I'm thinking of like high-end receivers. If I have him on DJ Moore, I'm a little worried.
I mean, I was just not expecting this take, which is
because like he's not like some fucking franchise caliber guy that gets me fired up. Oh my God, we got Jonathan Jones. I value the other two Joneses way more than him, and they have played for one fucking season.
He is in your top tier of corners.
What's the top tier of corners? Like the top 30?
Who do you want? No, not top 30. You are a son of a bitch. No, he is up there. He is your
top 90. How broad are you making
He
this?
is a number one
obviously
corner.
he's not like Patrick Peterson because he sucks. Like he's
I know he's better than Patrick Peterson.
I know
if he's
that's
a
what I'm
number
saying.
one corner, if he is a number one corner on a team in the NFL, that means he is one of the best 30 corners in the NFL.
Like
That's just a fact.
if he was the number one corner on the Cardinals, that doesn't mean a whole lot. Their defense fucking sucks. Like,
but you could still have individual parts just because it
kind
doesn't
of
work
like
for
the
the whole
Jakobi
defense.
Myers, my Jakobi Meyers argument.
yes, exactly, and that's my point. Where it's like,
but this
he's
defense
on a
was
great
really good.
defense, really good, but it's not really good because of him. It's really good because we got a ton of pressures.
But he is a piece of the puzzle still, though. He is a piece of why they are a good defense.
Yeah, but I'm saying pick a random corner, like a middle of the road corner. Who is the most average corner in your mind in the league right now? When I say average corner, who comes to
Logan
mind?
Ryan. Fuck it. Let's just.
Is it? He's a safety
Buda
now.
Baker. Buda Baker.
He's a beast, and he's a safety, strong safety at that.
What is your argument? Because it's wrong. Just
you want to say Denzel Ward, or is that a little too much?
He's good. He's good. Like I'd say he's probably above average.
Okay.
Like
Jalen Mills.
He's a young stud.
Liam, just pick somebody then. You don't like the ones that Mike are picking. Pick somebody.
Who do you want?
I'm trying to think who my idea of a middle of the road
See, you
corner
don't
is.
even know.
Yeah, so shut
Because
up.
my middle of the road
Jones.
corner is Jonathan Jones. So I'm trying to think of another middle of the road.
Let's just move on because we got more to talk about, and this is going nowhere.
Okay. Liam,
I'm just not super excited about 31.
We all have our unwarranted hatred for players.
I don't hate the guy.
Liam now with seemingly Jakobi Meyers and Jonathan Jones.
Well, I do hate Jakobi Meyers. Fuck that guy.
So okay, but oh god, I still just can't believe that happened. Carl Davis also came back, known for his little sack celebration where he rubs his tummy. Happy he's back. Nice little deal there. Raekwon McMillan, my boy, him and Ronnie Perkins, my two guys. Watch out next year. Ronnie Perkins is coming back, ladies and gentlemen.
The Ronnie Perkins year.
Unless he gets cut.
4 years in the making.
I think we're only 3, so don't you dare do that to good old RP.
I think it's about to be 4.
I don't, what are numbers? You know what I mean?
It's true.
But yeah, Raekwon McMillan's back, so that was a nice little signing. But also before, I think maybe 45 minutes before free agency, Jonnu Smith traded to the Falcons for a 7th round pick, which the Patriots did not have a 7th round pick this year. So kudos to them for getting one. But I'm going to come out and say it. Jonnu Smith, top 3 worst signings by the Patriots, and not for lack of skill. Jonnu Smith is talented.
Yeah.
It just
didn't work.
Not great. I'll look up his stats while he was on here. But what do you?
I can give you the stats.
Oh, you got him. Pull him up.
Five catches.
I wrote about it the other day.
All right,
so
what's he got?
Jonnu Smith.
Hold on, Al. Before you get into this, you guys did not correct me last episode because I said he didn't score a touchdown with the Patriots. He did have one.
I was gonna get there.
I know, but I want to cut you off ahead of time because I was like, you guys let me say something wrong on the air. I said he had none. I was surprised to find out he did have one.
Well, we just let you say that Jonathan Jones is an average corner. So we let you say wrong things here and there.
And some right things.
All right. So in 2 seasons with the New England Patriots, Jonnu Smith played in 30 games, started in 19 of them, had 83 targets, 55 receptions for 539 yards, 1 touchdown. Bonus, can you remember which game he scored the touchdown?
Yeah, I was on a flight. That's why I missed it.
So which game was it?
It was the Bucs game.
It was the Bucs game. Little play action, nice little 1 yard
the
pass.
easiest touchdown in the world. His highlight reel for the Patriots is the most embarrassing shit I've ever watched in my life. It was like watching old people fuck.
And we thought he was going to be so good. I'm sorry.
So good. Dude, I was predicting like 5-6 touchdowns in his first year and more, almost double in his second.
People were comparing Jonnu and Hunter Henry to Hernandez and Gronk.
Yep. Like that was one of them.
Yeah, you were. And it wasn't a bad comparison because you had one guy that was speed and another guy that was a little more, rough and tough, a little more finesse, if that.
Yeah. Thunder and lightning.
Yeah, literally thunder and lightning. So the good thing is you got his money off the books, $5 million in salary cap space opened up. You got a 7th round pick. My take is if they traded Jonnu and knew they were letting Jakobi Meyers walk, they have something planned.
Yeah.
They have to. There's no way they would let those two guys walk if they didn't have a definitive plan set in place.
Yeah. There's a trail of breadcrumbs to something. I don't know what it is.
To somewhere there's a few paths, and we'll touch on that after we kind of wrap this up. Because there's a few different paths they can go, and there's one path for me that completely opened up that I was closing myself off to, but now I'm open to it. But yeah, Jonnu Smith, I think it's just a wasted potential. You saw what they were going for, and it's like this is kind of a cautionary tale for free agency too. And God, I hate saying that. It sounds such a fucking cliche, but just because you sign the big guys or you sign the well-known guys, like Al, you said, Dolphins signed Jalen Ramsey. You sign someone who's done some stuff, has talent. It's a name, but it doesn't necessarily always translate to the field. Corner, tight end, different teams, different everything. Just kind of using a loose comparison there, but just it sucks because I thought you had things where God, you could put him in the backfield. You could have him, on end arounds. You could do all these things with them. And I think you kind of couple that with an offensive coordinator that didn't know the scope of what he was doing or what he could do with the players, which is why I think if you have these two guys and Bill O'Brien as your offensive coordinator, I think it's a completely different story, even though I saw a tweet Matt Chatham said earlier today where it's like, kind of even looking back at it, trying to have an offense with two high-paid tight ends and two, high-ticket, big-name, talented tight ends, not as realistic anymore. But in this day and age, which who knows? I'm sure they could have worked it out. But and the moral of the story is they didn't. Jonnu Smith is in Atlanta now, and I mean, just sucks. I think this definitely means that you're extending Hunter Henry. I think you have to.
You have to.
Yeah. I mean, I know that this draft class is big for tight ends, but rookies, you still never really know. Just extend Henry a couple of years. He's good. You've seen him even in the bad games or bad stretches. He's still good. He's still doing what he needs to do. But yeah, kind of sucks. I wanted more from him.
So disappointing. I seem to recall clear as day. Like I could walk through moment to moment. Me and Al, Jonnu Smith's first season with the Patriots, we were at Patriots minicamp beforehand. And I said to Al, I looked him in the windows of his soul, and I said, I would bet my entire paycheck for the football season accumulated that Jonnu Smith gets an end-around touchdown. And I was like, that's going to be one of many. And Al looked at me and wholeheartedly agreed. He's like, get me in on that. And nothing. Absolutely nothing. Like a flat out, after being the main red zone target, one of the best red zone tight ends in the league, his last season with the Titans, the hype was so real, completely faltered. And like you said, shit happens, but damn.
I'm trying to look back now. I'm gonna look it up after this, and I'll see if I can get the YouTube video, and I'll mercifully post it to Tuck Rule Takes, because I think it was just you and me at this point, Liam. Our take when they signed Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith. I don't remember.
Oh God, I bet it's so embarrassing.
Or what was going on, but yeah, I want to see what we said, because I mean, I'm sure we thought that this shit was going to be crazy, and it just.
I can literally hear the Gronk and Hernandez comparisons right now.
Yeah, I mean, and they were there, but at least, like you said, Al, 4.5, almost $5 million in cap space. The Patriots right now have the 5th most cap space available with 28 and change. I know we talk about the rookie class. Who knows what they're going to do with, I'm talking just right now, they got 28.4 somewhere around there. So still a bunch of money left. Still a bunch of money left to get a number 1 receiver. Maybe. And I kind of brought it. Did you guys have anything else you want to talk about with Jonnu Smith, Jakobi Meyers, anything like that at all? I know we kind of, we stayed on Myers and Smith for a little bit, but
by the way, I'm looking at Twitter feverishly to find the numbers on Jonnu's. We're just talking about Jonnu Smith, Jabrill Peppers, and I'm looking for other moves because You never know. One could be coming.
Yep.
I'm waiting for it too. Yeah, I keep refreshing it, and that goddamn American alligator thing keeps popping up on Twitter. They really want me to know about this fucking asteroid. Still just 69 alligators. I've been putting little checkpoints in the YouTube video. I did that last week. I'm going to continue to do that. There will be a little checkpoint if people want to just skip forward to the 69 American alligators for the asteroid. It will be there, so you can check that if you want. The guy I was talking about, though, who I was very closed off to because I thought it was really just speed. Like, it was like, okay, why do we need another guy, another receiver who is fast and all that? Jerry Jeudy. Al, I sent it in the group chat, yesterday, a couple days ago, and I was like, I need someone to sell me on Jerry Jeudy because I don't get it. I never, because Jerry, correct me, was he on the Raiders or did he only go to?
No, that was the drunk driving Henry Ruggs.
That was Ruggs. Okay, yeah. So it didn't. Everything I heard from Jeudy, oh yeah, he's a speedster who can separation. And how many goddamn times do you hear that? They're a speedster that can get separation. I think that's what Philip Dorsett was, right?
Yep.
A speedster that can go, but really, what was he? In my head, the dude was 5'10", 5'11". He's 6'1", which is only a couple inches shorter than Julio Jones. When I found that out, boys, I'm fucking all in on Jerry Jeudy. I would love me some Jerry Jeudy. If you can
That's what sells you on Jerry Jeudy.
If you can, his side, because I don't want just a bunch of small receivers anymore. I know that Devontae Parker's here, but I don't want these guys who solely have to rely on separation or route running to catch the ball, because if they're facing a corner that's 6 feet or above, they're going to get swallowed up by him. So Jerry Jeudy, I like it. Maybe I think I kind of posed this too. Jerry Jeudy, you sign another receiver who we'll talk about in a second, but I don't know, because we've kind of touched on him a little bit. Where did you guys stand on Jeudy, or would you prefer Sutton, the other Denver Bronco? Which one would you want, and how do you feel about Jeudy? Because I don't think we've ever discussed that. Like I said,
maybe Jeudy because he's a little younger. I think he's a little younger than Sutton, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I mean, again, Jerry Jeudy, a guy that played with Mac Jones at Alabama, a guy that I know you just said you hated hearing it, but it is true. He is fast. He can create the separation that Patriots fans want.
He's tall, which now I'm in. I love it.
He's tall.
I love it.
And I just saw something. I'm gonna see if I can find the tweet. I literally just had it up. They were talking about Hopkins, and they were talking about Jeudy and what it would be like if they brought him, if they brought either of them onto the Patriots. Let me see.
I don't know. While you find that, I'll just fill the air. Imagine if they got both of them. Hopkins,
I mean, it's a nice pipe dream. With Jeudy, for me though, it's not so much the speed that enamors me, because he's fast, but I don't think he's not faster than a vast majority of the receivers in the league, or some of the actual speedsters that you come to mind. It's his route running most of all, and coming out of Bama, I was enamored. His routes are incredible. Not Devontae Adams-esque, but they're some of the best routes in the league. I saw him in his rookie season because I had him on fantasy. I thought he was going to be a beast. He wasn't. But he can fucking move. Those Antonio Brown type routes where he's quickly cutting in and out, and the cornerback is completely turned around. His footwork is immaculate. And the hands are there. They're not the greatest in the world, but they are above average. He's just one of those guys that he's got all the potential in the world, and I think in the right situation. I thought it would be with Russell Wilson. He ended up being the best receiver on the Broncos because Courtland Sutton was horribly disappointing, and Jeudy really came on late in the season with chemistry with Russell Wilson. But I just love a young prospect, played with Mac already. In the footwork alone, I'm not looking for deep routes. That's Devontae Parker. That's Thornton. I'm looking for comeback routes, some deep digs, stuff that takes footwork, skill, separation. No one could get open last year. We need somebody with some footwork.
Yep. So for just salary cap numbers, and this is from the dude on Twitter that does all the Patriots salary cap. Mike, you know who I'm talking about.
Pat's cap.
Yep, Pat's cap.
Oh yeah. Follow him if you're not following him. The dude knows shit that I didn't even know existed, with the cap.
So this is if the Patriots got either Hopkins or Jerry Jeudy. DeAndre Hopkins is traded. His cap numbers for his new team would be $19.45 million in 2023 and $14.915 million in 2024. He can lower these numbers with a restructure. Jerry Jeudy's fifth-year option amount for the 2024 season is $12.987 million. The 2023 cap number would be $2 million.
I fucking like that. Now, I mean, because
Yeah.
I also
He's
saw
still
the
on his
tweet where it
rookie deal.
was. I also
Yeah,
saw
a little
the tweet
closer to
where
3 million, but it's like it's two seven.
Fucking
2 million,
$4 million.
700,000.
I did see the tweet that Hopkins said that he'd be flexible with his final years. You know, he's not looking to break the bank with it or whatever. So maybe he restructures, extends or whatever. But just kind of looking at it on face value, obviously Jeudy would be a little bit less. Let me propose this to you guys. I don't remember if I said it. You get Jerry Jeudy, and then you also sign Brandon Cooks for a nice little trade there. You know how much fucking speed you have on that offense now? With
A lot of
Thornton,
speed.
Kendrick Bourne is quick. You get, I mean, in speed, I mean, we saw it with the Chiefs. I am not saying that this offense is going to be the Chiefs offense, but we see that speed is a big thing in the league now, more and more each year, which seems like an obvious thing to say, but it's just speed has always been a thing, but it seems like more so now. I mean,
it works now. It used to not work, but it seems to work now because it's a passing league.
Yeah, I think that'd be a nice little thing there. You get Jeudy and Cooks, but I mean, even if you just get Jeudy, I mean,
if you have to choose between the two, Hopkins or Jeudy, do we have preferences at this point? Are you like, I don't give a fuck?
I'm taking Hopkins. I'm still
saying. I mean, I am newly enamored with Jeudy, but I mean, D-Hop is still. I mean, D-Hop to me is in your top. He is your game breaker, game changer. NFL Street game breaker. That's what DeAndre Hopkins is, because he is quick. He has hands. He can go up. He can pretty much do anything, or anything that you need him to do.
I choose Hopkins because his salary is better down the stretch. Like if we get Jeudy, we'll have to pay him a lot of money in like 2 years. Like with Hopkins, like he can restructure it and we can get him for 2-3 more years for not as much as a max contract we'd have to throw at Jeudy if he ends up falling out.
Who is more likely to get double covered, Hopkins or Jeudy? Probably Hopkins, right?
Hopkins, yeah.
It depends on the situation because right now Judy's with Cortland Sutton, who is supposedly a number one receiver. Yeah. He did not play up to value, but he's a monster. He also was coming off a torn ACL, but I don't know. Yeah, now, obviously, Jeudy isn't going to get any fucking double teams.
No. So I think seeing Hopkins there would be nice. I threw this name out there before too. Corey Davis, not as your number one guy, not as your only guy there. But how would you guys feel about Corey Davis? Because he had some good numbers before he went to the Jets. I'll pull those up.
I've heard that one before.
What do you guys think? Yeah, well, I mean,
if you bring in another receiver, sure, but he can't be your only big name receiver that you bring in.
I mean, think about it. What we got right now, though, like it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if he's our number 2 receiver, and then we stick with what we got now. It's not a terrible receiving core, but that implies much better than last year.
But it also implies that you're getting a number 1 receiver because you just said if he comes in as a 2, that's fine. But that implies we're getting a number 1.
I mean, then no, I'm saying like Devontae would be our number 1.
Oh no, then no.
What if?
See, I don't think that's a bad core.
What if it was Corey Davis, then you drafted the guy? Doesn't have to be Zay Flowers, but what if you drafted the guy too? One of these.
If you got the kid from Ohio State, maybe.
Young guys. Yeah, the dude with the high. I don't know how to say his last name. So I'm just going to, him from Ohio State. Yeah, with the hyphenated name. Corey Davis, by the way, 2020 with the Titans, 65 catches for 984 yards. Year before that, 43 for 601. Year before that, 65 for 891. So when he's healthy, for the most part, he plays. He produces. I wouldn't mind. I lean kind of probably in between you guys, where Devontae Parker, if he's your number 1, you have Corey Davis. Those are 2 big body receivers, which is nice. I don't know why, for some reason, big body receivers they get my rocks off. I want the bigger guys.
Everyone's
don't know
got
why.
their thing.
Just do. If you have them, you still have Kendrick Bourne scampering around under there. Tyquan Thornton, you hope. Maybe you put him into the slot. He did play the slot a little bit last year in the preseason and a little bit when he did play. So you could, and I think, Al, you asked this last pod, could you put Tyquan Thornton in the slot to take over for Jakobi Meyers? You can. So, I mean, that's a nice little team. You still got Hunter Henry there. Who knows what they do? And then obviously the running game is what the running game is. So I wouldn't hate it. It wouldn't be my number one option. I think the group consensus number one option obviously is DeAndre Hopkins. If they get DeAndre Hopkins and that's it, are you guys cool with that? Not like moves in general, just for the offense, for the wide receiving core. If they just get Hopkins, so you're rolling into the year with Hopkins, Parker, Kendrick Bourne, and Tyquan Thornton. That's your top 4 guys. Are you guys cool with that?
It's better.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's better. I think you could use one more receiver, but if you told me those were the only 4, it's like, all right, fine. At least you have someone that the defense can game plan against.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. And I figured that's where we'd all be. What if opposite? What if it's Jerry Jeudy's the guy? Same thing. No one else, just Jerry Jeudy. Probably a little bit less than Hopkins, right? But still, meh.
Yeah.
Same response.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same thing with me. You need one more.
I don't know. Shit. If you guys want to get really wild, do you think Devontae Adams is upset enough to request a trade?
I was wondering. I was hoping. It seems like he's settled in.
Yeah, I know he's obviously that they're not happy over there in Vegas, but I don't know. I mean, you're gonna request a trade? Like, I don't know.
After 1 year, it's not a great look, but like, he's a star. He could do it. I don't know. Like, an offense with just Hopkins or just Jeudy sounds fine to me. Like, our problem was the scheme. Like, our wide receivers could have done a lot more if they could have created separation. If they had an offense that would open it up. It's like we weren't void of talent. Kendrick Bourne, more than serviceable, above average. Devontae Parker showed what it was like to have a deep threat and a number 1 receiver. He's not the ideal, perfect number 1 receiver. Hopkins would be better. Jeudy may be better.
Of course.
But we could see what he could do. Most of the time, Parker had to make crazy plays because the separation wasn't great. The route schemes weren't great. I think overall, if we just get one guy and we go into this offseason with a new scheme that can create separation and a wide receiver, much like Hopkins, who can just make plays like Parker did, but to a higher level, that's more than fine with me. Al, I think you're a little overzealous here looking for these 2 wide receivers. You were talking about it earlier. You want Cooks, you want Jeudy. This isn't Madden mode. I would be beyond surprised if we got 2 wide receivers. Like, truly, I can't even imagine it happening. And like,
I wouldn't be, because look at all the prices of the trades that are going on and look at what teams are giving away in terms of draft picks. They're not giving up much. So you could realistically, and I'm just saying this, you could realistically give up a 2nd round pick for Hopkins and then either a compensatory pick or a player. So then you got DeAndre Hopkins. And then with Cooks, you could throw in another 2nd rounder.
You wouldn't even have to give up that. He wants out.
Okay, so give up a 3rd rounder.
Yeah, say 3rd
or a 4th rounder.
Yep.
And give up like a player, like a veteran player. So again, I'm being a little overzealous because I think you really need that kind of transformation in the wide receiver room. You have free agency, you have the draft.
Yeah.
You can get 2 wide receivers. That can help.
Definitely. I think it's more likely we get a receiver in the draft. Like I said to you guys, it seems like pretty much my inside sources here say that Zay Flowers is basically a lock if he gets to 14.
A lot of people are saying that now. That's what I'm seeing. They're saying like they don't expect Flowers to get back 14, which means, but like, what if the team, what if they didn't fill that right tackle position, so do they, is the draft, do they trade back into the 1st round? Like maybe, the 31st, 32nd pick just to make sure they get their offensive lineman? Like, what happens?
Phil only trades out. I don't think he trades in.
Yeah, he ain't trading into the 1st round. He's only trading out. I agree with Liam on that.
Yeah,
I think I go by the history.
Realistically, with the wide receivers, they're going to move what I envision them doing. You move Tyquan Thornton to the slot. Primarily, he plays otherwise, but like when there is a slot receiver on the field, it's going to be either him or Kendrick Bourne, one of those 2. And then I think they get 1 receiver. I'm hoping it's DeAndre Hopkins. It might be Jerry Jeudy, but it's got to be somebody of that ilk, which we've been saying, which is kind of a playmaker, someone who can defenses have to game plan for. Ideally, that is what happens, I think. But I don't know if that's going to satisfy Patriots fans, though, because I think Patriots fans right now you could get DeAndre Hopkins. And I think, honestly, though, DeAndre Hopkins might be the only name that will satisfy Patriots fans, because they'll be like, oh, okay, well, Jakobi Meyers left, but, you still have, you got your man. You got your man, DeAndre Hopkins. But I just, like, if they only end up getting Judy, which I say only, but Judy obviously is a good player. Now that I realize his height, like, if you get Jerry Judy, that Patriots fans are going to poke holes in that. I feel like they're going to be like,
you got to watch him play. It's really not just his height. Like, he is a damn good player.
When I told you guys I'm all in on, that's because you pull up the highlights, Jerry Judy, whatever. When you said route running, you saw that shit. They had plays where he's making people look silly, and I'm like, oh my 100%. God.
I'm going to send you guys some clips later. He's got some fantastic routes.
Get it, put it on the Tuck Rule Takes Instagram so we can kind of get that out there. But again, I think this all circles back to me to the biggest signing we've made was Bill O'Brien. We have a real offensive coordinator now. Yep. There are more as currently constituted. There are enough pieces for Bill O'Brien to make a competent offense. Yeah. Better than last year. Now, I'm not saying that the Patriots should just kind of sit back and not sign anyone. They should still try to go get someone. But if worst case scenario, they went into this year with Devontae Parker, Kendrick Bourne, Tyquan Thornton, Hunter Henry, and tight end X, and then you have the running backs, you can still have this offense be average to good.
I think it could be better than last year.
But I think it definitely will. The simple fact that you have someone in here who can create schemes, who his thing is timing, getting people open, all that stuff. I think right now your offense is going to be better than it was last year. But it's like, why not just add someone? That'll make it so much easier. So much easier. So I don't know. I think we're all still holding up for DeAndre Hopkins. We'll see. They'll probably sign him in a couple days, and then we'll probably
have to do an emergency episode.
We definitely do. If the Patriots do sign someone big like that, we'll definitely do an emergency episode. But yeah, I just overall, what are your guys' vibes right now before we get out on the free agency? Because I feel like it's not great, but I just like it's not. There's not a time limit to do anything. No one has really gotten signed that I'm like, shit, I wish the Patriots got him. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't like all this outrage. It's why, who would you have wanted? What would you have wanted them to do that like they still can't do? Like, what's the issue? What are your guys' final remarks on the free agency before we get out of here?
I can't help it, but it feels bleak. Like, I know it shouldn't. You can be optimistic. You can think outside the blocks. There is a ton of time to go. There's a ton of moves to be made. And like we just talked about, Al brought it up, they are setting something up. Like I said, there's a trail of breadcrumbs going to something. I don't know what it is. But from my vantage point where I'm sitting now, looking at everything else that's going on, it's not a stellar free agency class in most positions. I still feel bleak about it, where I'm like, shit, like I would have liked a Mike McGlinchey or like a big, and obviously we can get Orlando Brown. He's a stud, but like there were a ton of big name offensive linemen that we desperately could use. And we got Calvin Anderson, who's, if he's ever starting permanently, we're fucked. And it's like, he's good depth. If he starts for 2 games, perfectly fine. If he's starting for the season, we are boned. And it's just, that doesn't instill confidence in me.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Make a signing, any type of signing that's outside of your organization, and get a little creative. Don't just bring back guys. Because, by the way, that Anderson guy, he signed with the Patriots as a undrafted free agent in 2019, I believe.
Yep. Yeah. Barely played, but like, you know.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, is it bleak? I mean, I don't. Shit's just happening.
Exactly. I have no rhyme or reason to think so.
Yeah, which I feel like that's kind of your expectations, kind of like expectations. Like when you go to see, and my second movie reference, when you go to see a movie, you have these expectations, and it's never going to live up to them because you're unless it's an A+, which this offseason was never going to be that. I think all it takes is one move. If the Patriots sign a big name receiver, I think this changes everything for everybody's outlook of this offseason, even though like it should, but the outlook shouldn't even really need to be changed because it's not like they've, other than like a couple big name offensive linemen, but they haven't missed out on much. Like people are talking about these linebackers. I think we all thought maybe Tremaine Edmonds would come over. Maybe Jordan
even
Poyer.
then that doesn't thrill me. Like I don't mind missing out on him.
There. No, and it's just like there's still people out there, and it's just God, I feel like that idiot himself, Aaron Rodgers. Everybody relax. Like
the problem is it was hyped up from the inside. That letter from Robert Kraft saying we will improve. This is not a Patriots season. So everyone goes into this offseason going, all right, it's going to be like 2 years ago. Even though we missed on the tight end and the wide receivers weren't the best, we made moves and it gave Patriots fans a reason to be excited. So we go into this offseason expecting something similar where free agency kicks off, tampering period. Crickets, nothing except for re-signings. And you're like, oh, we weren't good last year. Why are you keeping around guys that weren't good last year? Like we're part of something that wasn't great.
Couple that with the Jakobi Meyers thing, who was a fan favorite. I mean, this was doomed from the start.
So I think that's where my pessimism comes from.
Okay, I see it. I mean, at least you have some actual reasons.
And I said there's no reason for me to think that because there's still plenty of time, but that's how I feel.
Yeah, which there is. I mean, there definitely is time. So, as we speak right now, the most recent signing was Jabrill Peppers, another one we're happy about. I think we're all relatively happy with the signings. We're ready for that big one. And like you said, Liam, the Kraft edict and all that stuff, his email, his letter did set the expectations there. So like Al, like you said, Liam, like you said, there has to be something. There has to be something on the other end of the line right now. That's getting reeled in slowly, but there has to be something. And it can't be the thing that's getting reeled in can't be Brandon Cooks. It can't be Corey Davis. It can't be
it's gonna be spectacular.
Yeah, it can't be, Philip Dorsett before he went to the Raiders. Like it can't.
It's like in draft day when the GM was like, make a splash.
Yeah.
He's like, or you're fired.
Third consecutive week with a draft day reference.
We can do this all every episode.
It's going to be something like that, but I'm not ready to doom this offseason or have those bad vibes yet until like either the Cardinals come out and say that we're not trading him, or Jerry Jeudy go somewhere else, or Mike Evans go somewhere. You know what I mean? Like that's a name that's out there too. It's just We'll see what's going on. Like I said, there's still the draft, so there's still ways that they can add linemen or receivers, but I don't know.
Robert Kraft bought this team as a Patriots fan, and he has done what a Patriots fan would do if they became the owner, where he's like, let's stack talent, let's make this team the best possible. So I can't imagine a world where right now Robert Kraft isn't somewhere going, we got to do something. I will not watch a shitty team again. I will not commit my time and effort into another team that's middle of the road or mediocre. So he has to be somewhere right now just being like, Bill, what can we do? We got to do something here. Make a splash.
Yeah, which I hope he is. So I hope he is doing that. We'll see. Hopefully next week when we come on, DeAndre Hopkins is a Patriot. We're just going to put it out there. That's the name. In fact, you know what? Right now, so I'm going to say this so we can clip it and put it out when it happens. DeAndre Hopkins by 7, 8, 9, 10, by March 21st, DeAndre Hopkins will be a New England Patriot. Putting that out there in the universe. Gonna happen.
Here's hoping.
It's gonna happen. Not even hoping. We know it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
We already know. Right. We can see it. The breadcrumbs. We followed them. Hansel and Gretel. We're there. We know what's gonna happen. We're just waiting for Oz to come out from behind the curtain. And Oz is going to be a 7-foot dreadlocked guy named DeAndre Hopkins. So
and not what Oz was in the movie, because that was unspectacular.
No, not he was in the movie. So, all right, you guys, anything else to say before we go?
Go get Hopkins.
God, they're going to get him right as we leave. So,
make a splash.
For Al, Liam, Mike, Tuck Rule Takes, episode 2023. Hashtag get DeAndre. Sweet. Sweet feet. Sweet feet.